Rugby World Cup 2019 is now just a few days away, and it's that time where I put my neck on the line. It's that time where I probably make a fool of myself. But yes, these are my Rugby World Cup predictions. I'm going to predict who gets out the pools, the quarterfinals, semi-finals and the eventual winner. So make sure to subscribe and leave a like on the video and get your predictions in the comments below. I'm not doing this alone. Let's get into it. So in Pool A this year we have the hosts Japan, we have Ireland, Scotland, Samoa and Russia. Looking at the pool, there are two outstanding sides and one who could challenge. Let's first of all talk about the hosts Japan. They've been in great form recently, having some big wins and winning the Pacific Nations Cup. So they're in good form coming into the tournament. It's a home Rugby World Cup. There'll be excitement amongst the fans. It's the first Rugby World Cup in Asia and they have some good players in the side. But there are two outstanding sides, as we talked about Ireland and Scotland, and we'll get to them in just a second. Russia weren't even looking likely to qualify, but the scandal between Romania and Spain happened, and so Russia were put into this one. Samoa are probably slightly better than Tonga, but miles off the standard of Fiji at the minute, but they do have some good players who play in the English Premiership. But for me, from Pool A, it's got to be Ireland going first as the group winners with getting 4 wins, and Scotland going through in second, getting 3 wins. Japan will finish third with Samoa 4th and Russia finishing bottom. But Japan won't get out of their group, but they will impress. The only thing really is, can they push Scotland? Can they get past Scotland? And if Scotland have an off day, Japan will be there to capitalise. And Scotland's style of play actually suits the way Japan will want to play. Japan want to throw the ball about, attack, it's hot, it's warm. The pitches are made there for really attacking quick, fast rugby. So maybe, just maybe, Japan could cause a shock here. But I am going to go with my head over my heart, and it's Ireland and Scotland to get out of Group A. Moving on to Pool B then, we have New Zealand, South Africa, Italy, Namibia and Canada taking part in this one. Once again, two outstanding sides. Not going to talk too much about this group, but yes, New Zealand and South Africa to get out. New Zealand, in my opinion, one of the favourites for the tournament, along with South Africa as well. Italy, they are the strongest of the rest in the team, in the group, but they're not going to cause South Africa and New Zealand any problems, in my opinion. They've recently shipped over 40 points against France, and France aren't great at the minute. So New Zealand's finished top, South Africa in second, Italy in third, Canada in fourth, who have really been struggling recently, hammered by the USA, and Namibia in fifth. Moving on to Pool C now, we have England, France, Argentina, USA and Tonga. So there's a lot of different teams in this one, a lot of interesting sides who are possibly not candidates for this one, but maybe looking forward to the next Rugby World Cup hosted in France. England are obviously the pool favourites, and they've been pretty good in Rugby World Cup warm-ups, only losing once against Wales. They played a fantastic match against Ireland, nearly putting 50 points on them, which is they did put 50 points on them, sorry, which is really impressive. That forward foul access is really interesting. I really like it, although I'm a Welsh fan, but I think it works really well. And if Manu Tuolangi can be fit, he's lethal in his position and he will tear defences down. The only concern maybe for England is, can they cope with the pressure? In 2015 we saw that they couldn't. Has Eddie Jones instilled something different in them that will ensure that they can perform at their best level in Japan? France, on the other hand, are looking young, exciting, and they're looking as good as they've been possibly in the last 2 or 3 years, with the likes of Dupont. We've got some great players such as Poinard, we've got Huget, who can be world class on his day, Ficou, who can be great, Girardo at captain. They've got a very good side. Argentina have had a really poor year or so in the Rugby Championships, really struggling. Obviously they've got Jaguares, who are the club team, but if you want to play for Argentina, you've got to be playing in Argentina. And the only big club in Argentina is Jaguares, and that's quite a clever little thing that they're trying to do there in Argentina. They've struggled, but we know that they perform at Rugby World Cups, and they've got some fantastic players. Nicolas Sanchez at 10 will kick points for you day after day, and he will dictate the match, and we know that their scrum and set piece is always very strong, and that they are powerful up front. USA are a rising side, a really interesting team. Done a lot of videos here on the channel about them. there's a playlist called USA Rugby Uncovered. Check it out, link in the description. And they'll be exciting because MLR has really taken off. Major League Rugby, the top level of rugby in the USA, 2 successful seasons, and looking forward to the future with that. So they've got some really good young players coming through. And finally, Tonga. Now, Tonga are probably the weakest of the Pacific nations coming in to this one. They've got some great players in their side, but I do think they're going to struggle at this one. So to get out the group top, England and France in second, only just pipping Argentina. Argentina in third, the USA taking the 4th position. I think they're going to get a win over Tonga, and Tonga finishing bottom. So Pool D, who's going to get out of this one? Let's first of all look who's in it. We have Australia, Wales, Georgia, Fiji and Uruguay. Australia of the past year have, last 2 years I'd say under Michael Cheika, really struggled, really inconsistent. Had a fantastic win against the All Blacks in Perth, but then the following week in New Zealand they lose 36-0 to the same opposition. Wales, on the other hand, had a fantastic Six Nations, Grand Slam champions, great teamwork, great defence, but not that much attacking going forward. And then the warm-up matches, how much can you really read into them? I'm not sure, but only winning 1 out of 3 and losing Gareth Anscombe and Faletau will be big losses. Georgia, we know, are going to be very strong and physical up front, base their game a lot on the scrum, the driving maul, and just being powerful and disciplined. Fiji, the game gets scrappy, the game gets messy, it will suit them, and they have some great players such as Radada, they have Ben Volavola, they have Matavesi, they have some great players and they will really look to entertain. Uruguay are going to struggle. They have a really exciting young scrum half, so keep an eye out on him, plays for the Houston Sabercats in the MLR, but they're going to struggle. Not all their players are professional and it's going to be very tough for them. So to get out of this group, Wales in first. I think Wales will get the win against Australia. Australia in second, Fiji in third, Georgia in fourth, and Uruguay finishing bottom. How does that make the quarterfinals look? Well, in the quarterfinal number 1 is England against Australia, a rematch of the 2003 Rugby World Cup. It's going to be an interesting game. Depends how Australia have done throughout the pool stages. If they've really set the world alight, they always turn up for Rugby World Cup, being finalists back in 2015. England will do what England do best, a power game. They will go through the phases, they will have a strong set piece, they will take the points with foul when they need to, and they'll have a powerful driving maul. They'll have their big ball carriers such as Manu Tuolangi and Itoje and Billy Vunipola all smashing through. By this time you'd expect the likes of Mako Vunipola to be back from his injury. Australia, on the other hand, is, who knows with them, they can be brilliant and then they can struggle, but we know that they turn up at Rugby World Cups, as I've said. But I'm going to back the English to get through to their semi-finals for this Rugby World Cup and get rid of the 2015 memories of going out in the pool stages. In the second quarter-final we have New Zealand against Scotland. Very, very interesting, this one, and Scotland love to throw the ball about, but I just think we've got to be realistic about this, that New Zealand are world class. New Zealand are a level above Scotland, and I just can't see Scotland winning this one at all. So New Zealand to win this quarter-final. Quarter-final number 3 is Wales against France, 2 Six Nations teams, 2 Northern Hemisphere teams. Wales, fantastic defence as I've spoken about, but France could be the undoing of Wales. Young, exciting team, Dupont at scrum half really excites me, very, very exciting player. France will look to play quick rugby, but Wales's defence is strong, and I think Wales' defence will be strong enough for this match, and I think as the tournament goes on, Wales will get better. That's just what we do. We get better as the tournament goes along. We need momentum. We're a momentum team, and momentum in a Rugby World Cup makes a huge difference. So Wales to get through to the semi-finals, and then the final quarter-final that we have then is Ireland against South Africa. Ireland have beaten the All Blacks, or beaten one of the best teams that we've seen over the last decade quite a few times now, while South Africa have been the informed team of the past 2 years under Rassie. They've really improved. They brought a young core through. Kolisi as their captain is a really exciting player, but Deante's ban, a 4-year ban, could that impact them psychologically, not just on the pitch? I think it could. But I'm going to back South Africa for this one. They're the informed team, one of my favourites for the Rugby World Cup. So South Africa to go through to the semi-finals, and Ireland to lose at the quarter-finals once again. So the semi-finals look like this. First of all, we have England against New Zealand. England, as I've said, will use their power, but New Zealand are just that level above, I feel. New Zealand to go through from this semi-final, not much to say about it, just New Zealand, I think, are going to be that little bit better, and also will have experience of being at that stage of a Rugby World Cup. Then we have Wales against South Africa. My Wales against the Springboks. What a match this will be. Very, very physical. We know that the South Africans are physical, and Wales defensively under Shaun Edwards have been having one of the best defences possibly of the last 5 years or so. It's going to be a huge clash. It's going to be really, really exciting to watch it. Probably not much tries really in this one. But I think the Springboks are going to do it. I think the Springboks will get through to the final. And that gives us a final of New Zealand against South Africa. A fantastic final this will be in Tokyo. What a match this will be. Two world-class titans, two heavyweights of rugby coming up against one another. But who's going to win? Who's going to do it? It's going to be New Zealand. I think New Zealand will win 3 Rugby World Cups on the bounce, an incredible achievement, and will get the most Rugby World Cups under their belt. 3 Rugby World Cups on the bounce is an incredible achievement. South Africa would have done really, really well, considering where they were 3 or 4 years ago. To be in a Rugby World Cup final, in my opinion, I think it's an incredible thing for them, and they will inspire a generation of new rugby players coming through. So there we go, those are my predictions for Rugby World Cup 2019. And what are your predictions? Let me know in the comments down below. Am I deluded? Do I think Wales are going to get so far and they're not really going to even get out the pool stages? What about New Zealand? Are New Zealand going to win it? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe and leave a like on the video. Peace.